Hi there, how you going? Let me start by saying, if you're in business right now or you're thinking about being in business, then there's a huge payoff to watch this video right to the end. Here's why. Currently right now, I'm considered as one of the highest paid in-demand copywriters in Australia. Now here's the funny thing is, a few years ago, I didn't even know what a copywriter was. So my story, above anything, is going to give you guys a lot of hope. So for anyone out there who's not sure exactly what a copywriter is, let me explain. Have you ever been into like a retail store and you've got terrible service? You're trying to look for someone to help you out and you spot a pimple-nosed teenager up the aisle who's cleverly disguised as a salesperson.
Hi there.
Excuse me, mate, but can you help me? At best, you're lucky to get some monotone primal grunt as he's looking to the ground. Believe it or not, that's the kind of image that a bad copywriting website or sales editor can have. Just no connection at all. On the flip side, you can go to another store. As soon as you walk in, within a few minutes, they know your name, where you came from, where you grew up, all about your family and what you did on the weekend, right? They make this instant bond and rapport with you and you're like, man, I love you, you know? Without you realising you've got your credit card out and you feel compelled to buy off this person, okay? Now that's what a good copywriter can have an effect on your business and your website, okay? So let me get back to my story. A few years ago, the only way you would have known me or met me is if you walked into a nut and bolt store and I would have sold you some nuts and bolts, true. But for me, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'd been in a stage of my life when I knew I should be doing something different, but I just didn't know what it quite was, okay? So I came up with a business idea and just stepped out in the leap of faith and started my own business. Very tough lesson, because I learned very quickly you can have a great business idea over here, but unless you don't know about marketing, then you can potentially lose a lot of money, and that's what happened. A couple of years ago, I found myself in a seminar, one of those wealth creation seminars, right? Gentleman got up on stage, his name was Mal Emery, known as the millionaire maker of Australia. I thought, oh, this would be pretty cool. And he said, here it is, folks. There is one skill that I've learned that has put more amount of money in my bank account in the shortest amount of time. And I was sitting on the edge of my seat, pen and paper in hand, like a nerdy 8th grade student. And I thought, whatever comes out of this guy's mouth, I am going to do it. And he said, it's the art of writing compelling words on paper, better known as emotional direct response copywriting. I thought, no, anything but. I hate writing, I hate English. I went through all school, failed English all through my school. I only just started reading books when I was in my mid-20s. I said, I can't write, this is ridiculous. But then he invited someone up on stage by the name of Pete Godfrey. I looked up and down the aisle, tried to look for an escape route, but I was trapped. And I sat through the most amazing presentation by Pete, and he introduced the world of emotional direct response copywriting into my life, and it totally turned things around for me. 12 months after that, I was now writing for Mal Emery as his personal hand-picked copywriter, earning a comfortable 6-figure income, and also writing for some of the biggest marketers in the country. Okay. Now I've got to say, since I've learned copywriting, my English has got much gooder. But a lot of people ask me, Brett, how did you get so good so fast? And well, I've boiled it down to 5 key things. Number 1, I got very good at understanding who I was writing for, who my ideal client was, my target audience, the person who makes the decision. I understood how they think, feel, make decisions. I actually became my client, so much so I knew their fears, frustrations, objections, wants, desires and needs. Because really, that's what copywriting is. It's salesmanship in print, or in today's media, it's virtual salesmanship multiplied. The second thing I got very good at was coming up with a big idea. Right? I believe that every single person is one big idea away from making $1 million. I honestly believe that. I mean, for me, I've always been creative, and this is a great avenue to pour your creativeness into. If you want to make money from your creativeness side, then this is what you're about to hear could rock your world, let me tell you. Third thing I got very good at was to write compelling headlines that just jumped off the page and compelled people to take action or draw them into the story or the letter. Okay, same with the bullet points. So picture this, imagine someone flicking through a newspaper. It's been estimated that an average person stays on each page of a newspaper for 3 seconds, and 3 seconds only. Why is that? Well, think about what they're doing. Exactly, they're scanning headlines. I got very good at writing headlines that jumped off the page, grabbed the person by the throat, pulled them into what I was writing, and took action. Okay, very, very valuable skill. The fourth thing I got good at was writing conversational copy. So it's not your general plain, vanilla, boring copy that you're used to seeing. This is conversational copy that makes people feel like you're there, they're with you there the whole time. On the subject of writing conversational copy, I want to prove to you that it is a learned skill. So much so that I've shared this skill with my boys, and here's an amazing story.
At the start of this year, my English teacher set an assignment for us to do. It was about a story that happened to us over the holidays. And I quickly jotted down anything and handed it in just to get it over and done with. And 2 days later, she put me up to her desk, and I honestly thought that I was going to cop it a bit. But what a relief, she started saying that she's never seen writing such a unique style of writing like mine. She doesn't even get it out of her year 12ers. So.
But there's something else to that story which I think, to be fair, you should share.
I left it to kind of the last minute, 15 minutes to go, and I just started.
I shouldn't be laughing at that, buddy, but so you did that story in 15 minutes. Now that's very cool, but I think you should be a little bit more responsible, my man.
Just like your dad.
That's not even funny, you're grounded. Seriously, you're grounded. The fifth thing I got good at was graphics, layout and design. Now, relax, you don't have to be any expert at that, but all you need to know is this. You can be the best copywriter in the world, you can have the most compelling offer, but if it's lost in the clutter and doesn't get read, then forget it, you can do nothing. So the graphics and the layout and the design, there's some certain rules and techniques which you need to know, which is, that alone is going to increase your conversion. 18 months into my copywriting career, I got a phone call from good friends and mentors, Andrew and Dale Grant, who happen to be one of the most brilliant internet marketers in the country. They said, Brett, do you think you'd be able to teach people how to write a sales letter? We're putting on a seminar in front of 400 people, and we'd love you to do a presentation on how you write a sales letter. I thought, all right, I'll have a go. Okay. Was I nervous? Absolutely. Had I done it before? No. I say yes first, and then clean up the mess later. Right? So here's the thing, they gave me a month preparation. I thought, okay, I've got to write a sales letter and show them how I did it. Okay, it sounds pretty cool. Unfortunately, I got bombarded with work in that month, and I didn't get to prepare or start that presentation until 9 o'clock the night before the talk. So I had no choice. I punched out a long form sales letter in about 2.5 to 3 hours. Then I spent the next 4 or 5 hours putting my PowerPoints together to show them how I did that. The seminar went off. It was fantastic. Here's what happened next. Mal Emery heard about what I'd done, so that's pretty amazing. He was going to put a big round of seminars on all around Australia. Mal, being the typical legendary entrepreneur that he is, he thought, here's a bit of a concept. Why don't we pull someone from the stage, bring them up, and Brett and I will interview them, and then Brett, you can do all their sales copy, which would usually take you about 3 or 4 weeks. You can do it in 24 hours. I'm like, and like I said before, say yes, clean up the mess later. So I gave it a go. Amazingly, I pulled it off, right? I did, in 24 hours, I did a lead generation ad, advertorial, editorial, a long form sales letter, squeeze page, a landing page, autoresponder emails, phone script, the whole lot, right? It usually takes us copywriters 3 or 4 weeks to do that. I pulled it off in 24 hours and presented it on stage the next day, and it was top quality. So much so, which to my surprise, Mel took that copy that I did and gave it to half a dozen of his other copywriters and said, this is the new standard, I want you to write copy. So I thought, wow. So what I've stumbled on is a system to write copy super fast and maintain the highest quality. Interesting. What happened next? Mel said, Brett, I'm going to do that again. We did that 6 times all around Australia in about 2 months. I was absolutely wrecked. But out of it came a concept called the 7-hour sales letter. That's what I want to share with you today.
I've been using Brett Thompson's system now for about 3 months, and I can tell you,
I'm really impressed there's not a blemish anywhere on my face.
What? Man, that's proactive. You're not even funny. I was chatting to Andrew and Dale Grant one time, and I thought I'll tell them about the system that I was putting together.
Hi, Brad. Hi, Andrew and Dale.
And they thought, that would be cool if we did it into a workshop and we showed other people to do the same thing.
Hey, Brad, that 7-hour sales letter concept is really cool. Thanks, Andrew and Dale. You know, we should put on a seminar and teach everyone how to do that, and everybody can make money. Yay!
Well, that's how I remembered it anyway. So here's the concept. It was very weird at the time. They said, why don't we fill the room with as many people as you can, and over 2 days you can take them through the process of writing a long form sales letter, right? So we thought, wow, and we're talking like laptops, the whole lot. Instead of being a seminar just teaching it, let's get them to do it and we can coach them through the whole system. Pretty scary. Andrew and Dale put on about 10 seminars around the year, and when they announced this seminar, it was the fastest selling seminar they've ever done. We jammed 120 people in the room. It was packed to the rafters, couldn't fit any more in. Laptops everywhere, cords going along the floor. It looked like a spaghetti factory had just blown up. So for 2 days, we broke the sales letter up into bite-sized chunks, fused them all together, drenched it with emotion, and at the end of 2 days, every single person had a full long-form sales letter done, all done and dusted. In fact, one guy had actually already uploaded it online and had started making money. Unbelievable. It's what we call a breakthrough. Never seen anything like it before, and it was incredible.
I'm here at Brett's 7-hour sales letter workshop, and it's just been fantastic.
I recommend it very much.
It's been a fantastic 2 days. I found it the most wonderful couple of days. It's been an amazing event.
Look, I'd say you've got all the knowledge in your head. That's what Brett's pulling out of me and pulling out of all of us.
This is a workshop that is absolutely hands-on, and you come out with a real product. What could you do that's better than that? So thank you, Brett. It's been absolutely brilliant.
There's so many frustrated business people out there who've got a great concept and a great idea. They've got great products and they've got lots of traffic to their site, but they're not getting the sales. Okay, the big hole in your bucket could be poor copy. And what I'm going to share with you in this home study course is going to fill up the holes and eventually, hopefully, fill up your bank account. Sound okay? So I thought, what would be a fair price to sell this home study course? A lot of effort's gone into it. The 120 people in the room, the only way you could get in the room was to pay $500 per month or a $6,000 per year high-end coaching program. And considering I've spent probably close to $80,000 on my education in a short amount of time, and also for the fact that the skills that I'm going to share in this system, you could not only just turn the cash flow tap on for yourself, but you could write sales letters for other businesses. And a lot of copywriters can get $2, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to write a sales letter. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you, these skills are highly valuable and they can pay you for life. Maybe $3 grand, that's a pretty cool price. I mean, that's achievable, it's top quality, it's got a tangible result. At the end of the 2 days, you have something which can make you money, and you've got a skill that'll pay for life. But I thought, since this is my first initial launch of this product, I want to make it a total no-brainer for you guys. So I've decided you can pick up this home study course, which is 8 DVDs, step-by-step, simple, easy to follow system all the way through. You can stop and rewind, it's super easy. You get a workbook with existing sales letter templates, a bank of examples of headlines and offers and guarantees, the whole lot. Everything you will ever possibly need to create a sales letter will be at your fingertip. If I'd thrown in any other more bonuses, it would have just been fluff. You've got it all, okay? So I thought, as an opening kind of pre-launch special, I'll let you have this whole system for $1,200. Okay, you could even break it down into bite-sized payments. Very affordable and easy to manage. Okay, or if you're super cool and enthusiastic, you might want to save a couple $100 and you can buy the whole thing done and dusted for $997. That's it. Pay once, get paid for life. Right. So that's pretty much the story of the 7-hour sales letter. It's totally changed and revolutionized my life. The people I've shared this system to, the results have been astounding and unbelievable.
I'm going to walk out of here pretty much with a completed copy sales letter.
When I first came here, I thought I would never be able to write one of those sales letters. I've seen them on other websites and they all looked way too scary and too hard for me. But Brett stepped us through the process and made it seem really straightforward and really easy.
Hey guys, it's Brett here. We've just finished the 7-hour sales letter workshop, and let me tell you, we literally finished 5 minutes. I've just walked off the stage. About 100 plus people who have gone through the whole process over the last 2 days and come up with a winning sales letter. And to my surprise, as I walked off the stage, I've just run into this gentleman here, and he's shown me that his sales letter, long form sales letter, is actually already online, ready to make money right now. That is unbelievable. That's pretty much what we expect at the 7-hour sales letter workshop.
It's all to your presentation. The ability for me to put that together a day or two ago was basically impossible. Coming here has enabled me to do that. And it's, you know, look, I've got a final product. I've been here a couple of days, and I've got a product that's operating, and it's operating now.
Amazing. Well done. Good on
Thanks
you.
very much. I do appreciate it.
Cheers. This is probably one of the best money-making opportunities that has ever come into my life, and I honestly believe it could be the same for you.